Hi, this is Sovereign, and welcome back to the Lake of Voices. I originally didn't know how long this playthrough was going to take, and I still don't, since this is the second episode. So, if this ends up being more like a longer playthrough, I think I'll go through and get some of those additional endings, or maybe choose different outcomes. And if not, we will just kind of complete one storyline, and I will eventually get to the rest, because this is super interesting. I love it a lot. Last time I think we stopped off, we were just attacked by the Nixi, and we all lived so far, but of course there was like that promise that one of us was gonna die, and I still think it's gonna be Bamil because he was an asshole, but we'll have to see what happens, so we're just gonna get right into it. There's really not much to say. Well, actually, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna note this picture here. If this is if this is actually from the game, then it looks like she's fallen into the water, which would be very interesting. To see, for me, if there was an ending where instead of just, being like, the Nixi are evil, you know what I mean, they're monsters, but somehow they're monsters who don't understand the concept of right and wrong, and see if there's actually something different, that you can do for them. But let's get right back where we were. Yep, they're monsters, but they don't understand the concept of right and wrong, and I touched a little bit on this last time. Just about how I don't think something can be a monster if it doesn't have a moral compass.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the Prowlers.
I would say me too, but I think they're kind of interesting. Something comes to your mind, causing Margaret to enter part of the conversation early.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
Margaret stops and waits for Bamil and I to reach her position.
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides, and it won't be so dangerous if Bamele loses his position momentarily.
Pretty smart, Margaret. That's why I want to keep you alive.
That's a very kind offer, Margaret.
Yeah, what were you gonna do? Start a fight? Bamil's surprise is so apparent, I want to cover my face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself, too. Bamil returns to his usual surety.
As thoughtful as it is, I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead.
Alright.
It's not my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Margaret and Bamil turn to look at me in unison. It seems like my decision. Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal is to protect everyone, and I can't very well do that with Margaret following behind us. Being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Getting pincered by the enemy would almost be a sure death, no matter how experienced Bamil and I are. I just don't know what to expect from this bridge, and that makes it much more difficult. The current format is like to... I could also choose to do nothing, but I think I'll do this.
So you're staying behind?
Yes.
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here. But really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Well, alright.
Margaret respects our decision, but trots ahead a bit to catch up with the guide. He has paid no mind to the entire affair.
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Margaret chuckles, reflecting some of the amusement I don't want to vocalize.
We still have some ways to go.
Damn.
I suppress my laughter yet again at his pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like a light flickering through the fog.
The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on.
That is unless some new fuck shit happens.
I like the way you think.
Then a gleam enters Bamil's eyes and he grins. Don't get cocky.
Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
Stop being such a simp. I'm a lesbian. Thank you very much. He leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to what?
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Demele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
She's such a bitch, I love it. But Mel shakes a fist at mock anger, and then shoots me an affectionate look. Don't
You
do
should
that.
know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
I can't imagine that's true.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
He laughs self-consciously and scratching his head.
That's very true. You can always count on Kika.
It's probably because I'm the best. I keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure of how I should respond. I am pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me, but I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Instead, I contribute the best way I can. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without a response from me, the conversation dies out, but it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. Alright. Some time goes by. I notice Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realize it's because the guide has increased his pace. Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, but Mel and I do the same. Despite this, he keeps getting farther away. We go faster and faster until we are suddenly full-on sprinting across the slick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fly past us at a blur. It occurs to me the branching paths and the bridge appear to be sinking. Ooh, that's not good. I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something but is drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I am trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop, turn, question mark, when he takes a masterfully sharp right turn in a different path using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into a new direction with no loss of speed. Alright. Margaret is thrown off by his change of course. She runs straight ahead past the turn and continues down the path we'd been following up until now. She halts her momentum down the wrong bridge, and then I came upon the fork. Turn. Oh, shit. Damn. I make a hard turn, following the guide, leaving Margaret at the rear. Ramel's footsteps say loud as they were before. He's made the turn, as close behind me as ever. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Margaret turn around to try to come back to us, only I had to Shit. I slow down for a breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. She can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears perked from Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us, and then I hear it. A scream. I whip around, sliding to a stop. Margaret is sinking. The bridge she's on is sinking into the water. She's disappearing. She didn't jump.
What are you doing?
Margaret's head shoots up, her face all drained of calico. Jump. Shit. She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at placid water of the lake. Even from a distance, I can see her shaking. Even if I can't say it from the bridge's descent or my own fear, she barely seems to be. Ugh. Ooh, shit. Ooh, starts beside me. Ooh. She died. The price. No! I wanted her to live! It was supposed to be the meal! I try to focus on the pounding of my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Morgan's terror as she clawed to pieces by Nixi. Maybe it's a fast death. After everything, I didn't help her. We left her in the dark. As the night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometimes. Almost as a response, the guard abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well as sliding on the surface of the wood.
Why did we stop?
Mel's voice is tired, but his guard is up. The guy doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. A different human? There, curled in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hands grip his head. He rocks side to side, mumbling incoherently.
It's a man.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please. I'm sorry.
Struck with another question, what's going on? Why did he wander out here on his own? Did he make it this far by himself, and were there others with him? If that's not the case, he couldn't blame him for being in a state of shock. He stops mumbling. He glances above him, only seeming just now to have the strength to lift his head. His expression, the deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror, scrawled across his face. He definitely saw somebody die. I stared at him in shock, not sure what to do.
Leave him.
I snapped my eyes away from the man and said to the guide's cold, implacable face.
No! We can't just leave him here. Without light, it's certain he'll die.
He won't make it regardless.
The guide turns to look at us. His eyes seemingly glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
Trying to think of something kind of compromise when the guide speaks again. His voice is cutting.
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Adrenaline surges through my veins, and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We frantically share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. Neither of us have been inspired to speak, but and be the first to make a choice. The man is standing, though still hunched, with his arms wrapped around himself, expecting a blow. Jesus Christ! Expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than us. Because of this, I am having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him?
Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here?
Don't talk to him. We're not keeping him. He glances up, but not at me, but towards me, his eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you.
Yes, I'm sure in your eyes I might not seem like much, but that's not exactly a fair shake. Maybe in a perfect world, every man would be as large as you. But that's not how things always go. Doesn't mean I'm defenseless.
The man's response is meandering. The words themselves seem to be in good jest, but he's still barely looking at us, fidgeting with his hand. Mel frowns.
It was a joke.
What part of it was supposed to be the joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment?
Never mind. Forget that too. Point is, I'm alright.
You have found yourself out alone and unlit on Sinlos.
Exactly. Something must be wrong with you.
Damn, can you die?
Oh no, sounds like you've been talking with my father.
What's up? A weak little laugh, coupled with an outraged voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. He gives a small wave and begins on the path we came.
That's not even the right way.
It is for me.
Oh? You must have come quite a ways if it was the other shore you started on.
The man's smile grows.
Good. That's not so bad.
I still think he should come with us. A person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option.
I look over at the man's body, nothing but scrawniness, noting the scrawniness of his limbs, scrawny but not necessarily lacking in muscle. The bravado he was showing as he tried to leave us has faded yet again. Now he's standing quietly, looking at us as if he's watching a play. Interest, but no true connection to the events.
It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's not mine, and you are putting her in even more danger with your own presence already.
That's really interesting too. He thinks Mel's presence specifically is putting me in danger? Or just the fact that, like, there's more people here? I feel a cold sweat on my brows. I feared come to pass. He is stopping us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can he not leave us to make our own decisions? Well, he just kinda told you.
You... Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now.
The man's voice is full of something I cannot place. He starts to shuffle back down the way we came, our still clenched around himself. I know the guide wants to act as though there is no options, however I can stay back with him. It'll put Bemel and myself at significantly more risk, but at least this man will stand a chance. Put a hand out, stop him. I'm gonna do nothing here. That man said leave him alone, the guide said leave him alone. I can't risk it. We had to let him go, we've already suffered a loss of one of our own. The space of the man vanished into the dark is silent. We can see and we hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps. The guide was right, there are no other options. Well, that is what I have to believe. We need to get through this somehow, and being weighed down by the guilt will only distract us. The guide starts moving again at a quick pace. After a moment's hesitation and one last glance into the truly lifeless fog, we run to catch up to him. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed, the stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes sense to miss him, but there's a sense of loss all the same. I keep thinking I should have done more, should have pushed the guide harder to change his mind, so it was less dangerous to keep the man around, something, anything. It is also worth noting that the guide said he did not agree to lead that man. And so, the guy seems to know most about the lake, and so if the guide isn't willing to lead somebody, I'm sure that there's a damn good reason for it. But I have to let this go. I'm not going to forget that man, I'll never forget him, but we still need to get through this. We turn down a different path, and the guide stops. Ooh, there's more of them. At the end, ahead of us, stands a group of prowlers. At the sound of us, they turn their heads in unison, as if they knew we were coming. I inhale. The prowlers wriggle somehow, their skin moving more slowly than it should. Sliding across their skeletons, they laugh.
We cannot lose another lantern at this point. We're almost to the island.
Alright, what are we gonna do? Rummages through his coat with his free hand.
What are you planning?
Bemel's tone is borderline threatening, but the guide ignores him. He pulls out a small pouch and opens a latch on his lantern.
Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge sets on fire?
This bridge is, from what I understood, wet. Have you ever tried to light wet wood on fire, homie? It doesn't catch fire. It smokes.
It will. We're going to run.
Oh.
This is insane! These bridges are hellish enough without them also being on fire. And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could...
He's dead. We're not losing another lantern.
He says with such detached certainty, as if he saw it happen himself, and no one argues with him. The guide steps closer to the prowler. We follow to step behind him, staying close to his back. He bends his lantern back down until it's lowered to his outstretched arm. The pouch in his hand is set aflame. With a practiced flick of the wrist, he swings the staff back and up. The glass on the lantern snaps closed.
Don't get left behind.
He takes 3 quick steps and then tosses the pouch. The prowlers are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. The guide breaks into a sprint, and so do the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness from the lake. These bridges aren't normal bridges. Of course, that's true. Nothing here is right. Hopefully they won't collapse within the flames. We stay on the guide's heels, almost too close to pump. He stops abruptly, we all crash into another ravine and fall off the bridge. Oh. Then the world tilts. I was mid-stride when I put my foot down. The bridge isn't where it was. It lurches to one side, either because it was weakened or pushed. We managed to keep our ground, as does the guide. He presses on without bothering to see if we were able to follow. Bemel grows in frustration as we push to keep with the guide's pace. As a storm of feet thunder across the boards. A silver splinter. A silver sliver begins to rise into view just above the edge of the water. I had to really squint at that one, because the only difference between those two words is the S-I-L or the S-L-I. Why would they do that to me?
It's the island.
The island. I squint and suddenly make out craggy forms of land and earth. I see it. We're almost there. Safety at last in sight. New energy surges. We get like a second wind. We push ourselves faster. All at once the bridge ends and our entire group rushes ashore. Earth, solid earth, a haven from the water. I catch my breath while still moving even further away from the dark shoreline. I can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the idea that we're only halfway done. When the night falls once more, we'll have to do it all again.
Good work out there.
It's not the usual commendation of a job well done. There is sadness, perhaps even sympathy in this sentence that ends flatly. Usually Bamel's comfort and good nature at least gives me the urge to smile, but right now it feels like a hollow victory. Despite still having the comfort of one another, we are incapable of doing any true good. We are only able to save ourselves. A quiet moment passes between us. And then the guide is there. He moves so smoothly, he steps on the soft sand, are nearly silent. His dusky clothes blend with the thinning of the night.
The sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't overrun with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat.
Bamel levels an empty look towards the guide.
Is there something we should do?
Come. The guide takes us to an area a bit further inland, but not too far from the water. Trees partly obscure our location, and there's enough room to watch the coast in case prowlers start to emerge from the water. Essentially, it's a place where an ambush would be hard.
If any of you see anything at all, speak up. We don't want them to sneak up on us.
Almost automatically, each member turns to a different direction. As the sky continues to fade, the pale purple to a muted blue, the water stays silent. For the first time, nothing happens. It is a miracle. Suddenly, my chest is lighter and the air fresher. The first pricks of light appear over the horizon, stinging my eyes after such a long journey through the darkness. As the sound catches my attention, I move focus towards this direction. The guide is opening the latch on his lantern and blows up the light.
We no longer have to worry about the Nixi. It is over for today.
We made it through the night, and we survived. No one feels the need to speak. We look at each other, an understanding passing between us. We find our own space as comfortable as we can get, and we lie down for the rest. We weren't sure what ever come. Alright, so I know that was kind of like a weird place to kind of cut the game. It's definitely not because I accidentally made an hour-long video and I thought I can't do that again so soon. But realistically, yes, it's because this original video was an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put this in screen here, and just cut it a little bit, just so we have 2 20 to 30 minute episodes instead of one long hour episode again. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you in the next video.